unfortunately, I can't really show you what this looked like beforehand. Actually, never mind. Hold on. I can do that because I forgot I have a PDF score of this, so I'll pull that up afterwards. But basically, what's happening here is just the same thing, same tempo in 16th notes and not triplets. Um, like I said, what these guys did basically was change the tempo, aka the pulse or the metronome, you could say, and turned the 16th notes into triplets in that tempo. Sorry. Which is just not really easy to read. It's not that easy to read. So I'm putting this back in the old tempo and putting it as 16th notes. That's what it sounds like and that's what it feels like to play. So just give me a moment while I do that. We're still in 4. So we have 1 of 3 and everything at the end of the bar was there because of different tempo, right? And different subdivisions. We could just move into another bar. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. To be fair, if this was a kind of group rehearsal, that might be a problem because we would be talking about different things that might not line up exactly. But we're not, so it's fine. We have 3 extra 16th notes, which may or may not be a problem. We could add 2 of them here to create a what would that be? 7, no, 5/4 bar, 5/8. Sorry, 5/8 bar. We can do that. We have an extra one still. Which I guess we would just have to move here. Oh, wait, hold on. I might have to, if. Sorry. Alright, so I have the PDF here. Basically the same thing, just, PDF version. You'll see a couple differences, and what I mean when I say, rhythmic beaming and easy to read and all that stuff. So where are we? I believe we're right here. So if we do a side by side, notice some differences. Uh, let's see. Got side by side here. Where we start, our like actual part is right here. We have the boss OC2 sub octave, which basically just means an extra octave below your signal, your original signal, which is what this means. I like to call it 8 VB, as if it were a piano, like ottava. You know what I mean? So I call it ottava. Put that on. It's all the same. It looks about the same. Same beaming and everything. Then we get to this switch where it switches from 4/4 to a different groove. In my score, I put it as 6/8, but in his score, the original score, they put it as 3/8. I put it as 6/8 because it's easier for me to feel it as two pulses within the same bar rather than one pulse per bar. And then after that, have this figure here. What that sounds like. In his score, he switches back into 4/4 and changes the tempo to 80 beats per minute, which creates the same sound as if you were to keep it in 6/8, same tempo, but just change the subdivision. So what I'm doing basically is making it easier for me to read relative to 6/8, whereas he is changing it to a completely different time signature and changing the tempos, so it's almost like two different grooves, but it's not really because it sounds the same. It's hard to explain. I feel like I keep talking in circles, but here we are. Then after that, he keeps the same tempo and then switches back to the original 120 beats per minute after that, um, which sounds like this. So if we go back to here, right here, forte is, it'd be like this. And we switch. Then we go into the verse, which is the same tempo. So, in my opinion, it doesn't really make much sense to change the tempo to 80 beats per minute, change the time signature, and create triplet subdivisions when you're going to switch back to 120 beats per minute anyways. So you could just call all of this 6/8 and keep it in the original 120 beats, and it would still work out the same. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just weird how they wrote it like that. I think what I have to do is a bit complicated, but basically is just keeping the same tempo, just changing the time signature to 6/8 instead of 4/4, fitting everything within 6/8. Which again, if you were playing this with other people, might be a bit of a problem because you would say, "Oh, let's take it from the 6/8 bar," and then somebody else would say, "Oh, what are you talking about? I just have 4/4. I don't know what you're talking about." But I don't have a band to practice with, so I'm just doing this on my own here. So we're fine. This is kind of where this one of these tools come in. This banner that I just popped up on the left-hand side here allows me to break beams, put them back together, change the fingerings, add in articulations like sliding, hammer-ons, staccato, tapping, all that stuff. So here we go. Okay. Guitar part's a whole mess. I need to take care of that afterwards, but fine. Adds up to 1 beat, 5, 6, all part of another bar, 7. I think in theory we should be able to fit everything in bar evenly. Sometimes they do this weird stuff where they'll kind of add really uneven numbers just to do it. There's one song that I'm thinking of that has like a bar of like 2116 in it for some reason, just to mess with you basically. let's see, what do I have? I have the rest, ba ba da ba ba rest, ba da ba ba rest, ba da ba ba rest. We have 1 beat, 2 beat, 3 beat, 4, 5, 6. So all 1, 2, 3, 5 should all be either part of this bar or its own separate bar. How many beats is it? Just 2 beats right here? Yeah, okay. We have 5/16 notes, right? So if we're adding, let's see, it's 2 beats plus 3, or 3/16. No, sorry. 2 beats plus 4/16 notes is 3, plus an extra 16th note. Yeah, see, this is kind of what they like to do. They'll, like, make it somewhat simple, but then just add kind of an extra beat just because. So maybe this should be like 4 or something instead of 6/8. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. 1, 2, 3. It's one too many. I think we need this. 1 beat extra. We can over here. Okay. Turn this into 3, 4 instead of 6, 8. 1 beat. That's 2. Okay. I think we're getting somewhere. So I think we can. What we can do is add a whole new measure, basically. Um, call this one 2/4. Call this new measure 2/4. Uh, put that there. Call this one 5/8. Like, kind of similar to what we had before. Not really. Okay. If that sounds right. Oh, my mom's calling me. Sorry. All right, I'm back. I think this is correct. Pretty sure this sounds the same as this one here on the right. I'm gonna take a little snippet, Spotify, just to make sure. This shouldn't give me a copyright strike. It's only like 10 seconds long, right? Usually it's like 30 seconds for that, as far as I know. You know what? This gets if this gets off of. I just don't want to strike on my channel. Is what I'm trying to say. If this gets claimed, that's not a big deal. But if I get a strike on my channel, then that's a bigger deal. I'll play this along with the track to get an idea of. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty much what we want. I think the only modification that we need to do, add a rest for this note, pick eighth note worth of notes onto the next bar, then this turns into a 3/4 bar, which does make all of this a little bit better. All we're doing is switching from 4/4, right? Switching from 4/4 to 6/8 with the same pulse, then from 6/8 to 3/4, which is essentially the same thing, but we're stressing different beats. Instead of two pulses per bar, it's going to be 3, but it's still the same tempo. Again, you know about music theory and you like to read music and you know about all that nerd stuff, it's like crack basically, but probably a little nonsensical. So, anyways, we do this. We don't. That's. I think that's it. And then we go into 6/4, um, which at this point we can kind of call whatever we want. This seems to be a common theme with this band also. Um, you wouldn't know it just from listening to them. But as you study their music, they do this a lot too, where you can kind of respell time signatures or the tempo into something else. Like we can, if we wanted to, we could split up each bar of 6/4 into 2 bars of 3/4. So we would basically double the amount of bars in each verse, and just call it 3/4 instead of 6/4, but it would be exactly the same. Again, that's kind of what we did here. We took 4/4 measure that was at a different tempo and just translated it into 3/4 different tempo. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a lot of what the work that I do whenever I'm like working on a song for the first time and everything's kind of fresh. I'm like breaking up rhythms, putting them back together before I even look at the notes and how to play them. Anyways. Yeah, okay, that works. Yeah, that works perfectly. Sorry for the noise. Mom and somebody else, scam caller, keeps trying to text me. Apparently, my mom's getting me calzone, or me and my dad calzone. Wants to know what toppings I want. So yeah, let's go ahead and hit up the guitar part here. Be a bit different. And again, probably shouldn't show you this in good faith, but you know, you can see a little bit of it. Not that big of a deal. Go buy their sheet music. Support the band. So originally, what we have here, a bit more complicated. It takes up the same amount of space, of course, but it's all triplets, matching what was triplets in the base. So you could say that these are all 16th notes at this point now, which makes sense. But they're also overlapping each other in groups of 7, which is unique because usually if you have triplets, you would expect them to be in groups of 3, 3, 6, 9, 12. Or if they're in 16th notes, they would be in groups of 8, right? Or groups of 4. But here they're in groups of 7. So we're going to have to, you know, translate them into 16th notes like that, and also group them in such a way that shows that they are in groups of 7, not groups of 8. Or 4. A bit different than, you know, what is standard in sheet music. Usually, anytime you have 16th notes, you want to group them exclusively in 4s visually. Like here, even though we're not doing continuous 16th notes, we still see groups of 4. We have 4 here. We have, you know, what is basically 4 here, and 4 here, and another 4 here, break, 4, 4, you know? This is one of those cases where you could break that rule because part is uniquely in groups of 7, but it is not in the subdivision of 7, if that makes sense. They're not doing, what is it called? Not like sextuplets, septuplets, I guess. Because, you know, sextuplets would be like 6, and septuplets would be 7. You could almost say they're doing septuplets, but they're not, because they're taking up the same space as a 16th note. It's kind of interesting. This is a beat right there. Beat. Or that here. Add this bar. We're going to call this a beat. 4, 1, 4. It's a beat. 4, it's another beat. So all of this will go onto this measure. And then we'll end up at the same spot. So yeah, now we can see that everything is in 16th notes, which is easy to keep track of. And we're in groups of 7 because we see that there are more than 4 16th notes per bar, right? But there's not 6 also. Sometimes you would see 6, but that's not the case either. So you'd say, oh, there's 7, but we have a looping pattern. This pattern repeats, and it's just group 7. Again, I feel like I keep tripping over my words and saying the same thing over and over again, but I don't know. Music theory is hard to explain with words. Yeah, there we go. And the reason why I say this is not in septuplets is because with septuplets, you would have 7 notes in the space of 1 beat, which is not the case here. Triplets, you know, you could say three notes to a beat. Quintuplets even, you could say 5 notes to a beat. Septuplets would be 7 to a beat, but here we have 7 across like 2 or 3 different beats. Not exactly a septuplet. It's just 16th notes grouped in 7. A bit different. Anyways, let's move on. Finally past the intro. I'm going to replay it here, but we're going to go on. that's gonna take us to our pre-chorus. Uh, it's pretty nice to play this band, to be honest, because you know it's complicated musically. There's a lot of notes. There's a lot of changes. There's stuff you can respell into other stuff. A lot of stuff to figure out with fingerings and all that stuff. Sometimes they kind of joke around in a way. Here, for example, I was just talking about how I don't like to use my fourth finger at a certain point up the fretboard, but here they kind of force you to. That 20, which is, I don't know the actual note name, to be honest. I think it's A flat, high A flat up there. Oh, no, wait, that's an A flat. E flat, sorry, not A flat. E flat. That high E flat there is kind of the limit of where I like to put my fourth finger. So that's kind of, the limit right there. But then they also play, which makes my fourth finger, play that. Is that B flat? That high B flat on the D string, which is past where I would like to cut off my fourth finger for that string. But here they kind of force you to play it like that. Now that could just obviously be a difference between like my hand and the bassist's hand. His name's Cody. Cody's hand. But yeah, that's kind of how I think about their music. I was like, oh, it's interesting that they use this finger here, or not that they use it, but that they could use it here. That they wrote their parts like this, and they probably did this with their fingers. Anyways, let's go ahead and clean up this verse. The fingerings are notated, but I would like to clean them up and change them around a little bit. Let's see. It's fine. Probably use a second finger instead of a first finger there. That's fine. Okay, so this might be kind of tricky because I like to also keep some kind of consistency between parts. What I mean is, if I were to play this part, this first measure, if I played it like this, my first finger, fourth finger, and first finger again, 3 and 4, I would like to keep that figure consistent every time it shows up. We see here again, this measure, we have that same figure. I think I did notate it consistently here, but that's kind of that's another rule of mine that I like to follow. I like to keep things as consistent as possible, which does force me to use some weird fingering sometimes just to get back to a place where I can, like reset my fingerings, if that makes sense. Let's see what I can do. Okay, I think this is mostly okay. There's a couple changes, but I think, or a couple things I would like to change, but I think it's okay. I think for that I would like to play second finger, first finger. Now this is interesting to me because where I end up here is on second finger. Um, but then we see this note again, this octave, the same figure actually. See this again right here and right here, and each time it comes around, it's played differently, which is what bugs me. I don't like when that happens. If I can help it. If it were up to me, I would like to play it 4-1 the entire time, but I just don't know if I can do that. So I don't know. Let me take a look at that, and we'll see. Get that done. All right. Go ahead and get this done. The chorus is simple enough. Seen that a few times at this point. Open second finger, not first finger. Second finger there. There. Same thing, same thing. Third finger here. Slide that down. First finger, fourth finger, all that good stuff. Finger, fourth finger, first, third, second, fourth, third, second. 1, 4, 3, 1, 4, 2. Slide down to course 4. Have our outro. I guess here we can do that. Okay, so. Okay. I might have to change some stuff around. I got something. Maybe. I think I can keep this the same with the bar here. All fine. This is gonna second finger, fourth finger for sure. Yeah, that's right. 12. Go slide. Slide from here to here. Have that be a hammer on. second finger, fourth finger, third finger, second finger, fourth finger, third finger, second finger, first finger slide. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. That's going to repeat a second time. It's going to be the exact same thing. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to practice that a lot, but that works out just fine. And I don't really want to repeat any fingerings, for the sake of visual clarity on the page. But this section kind of warrants it. Four, one slide, 2, 4, 2, 1, 3, 4, 1 slide, 1 slide, 2, 4. All little details. 4, 3, 4, 3, slide. Yeah. That brings us to the second part of the outro. It's a bit easier to play. Have this little S up here is denoting that we need to play that with a pop, like a slapping pop. You know what I mean? Like one of those. You know about bass, you know all about that. Yeah, this is all samey. We can keep all this fine. Four, one, three, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 1, 1, 4, 1. Slap, pop, pop, not a slap. Pop, pop. 1, 1, 3, 1, 3, 4, 1, 4. Pop. 1, 3. I'm gonna want to end up on 4 here. 4, 3, 2, 4, 4, 3, 2, 4, 4, 3, 2, 4, 4, 3, 2, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 3, 4. Oh, hold on. That might be an issue. I don't want to end up on 4 there, so 2, 4, 2. Uh, 1, 3. Oh, oh, excuse me, Jesus. Oh, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 4, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2. Think. That should be 1, 2, 1. Yeah, and that's going to be the last few bars there. All right. I think that is going to take us to the end of the song. We're going to be done. There wasn't really much opportunity for changing of rhythms. I already did most of that before this. Again, I said I did that before I started notating out the notes. So that's pretty much all done for the guitar and the bass on all the tracks, really. I guess that just leaves a full playthrough to be done. We're gonna go ahead and play through it all. I honestly do want to play it with the band. I would like to play it with the actual song in the background. So I'm gonna just look up on Google if I'm gonna get copyright strike or if I'm gonna just get claimed. I don't really know the difference between the two. Oh, sorry, I just realized I was muted for a couple minutes there. I was just looking up the difference between a claim and a strike for copyright. And it looks like really the only difference is if the copyright holder decides to pursue some kind of action with the video, meaning um, if I play this along with the song in the background, it'll get claimed for sure, and YouTube will flag it for demonetization, which is fine because I'm not even getting money from these videos regardless. Um, So that's not a big deal. But in the event that the band, for some reason, happens to see this video, decides to pursue some kind of action, then that would be a copyright strike on the channel, which would take down the video and keep a strike on my channel. And you know, if I get if I get like 3 strikes or something like that, my channel is taken down. But this would be the first strike. So, I mean, that's if the band decides to pursue action. I don't think they would. I've seen other people post covers of their songs, and you know, they do it pretty safely. And again, if they wanted to get mad that I'm showing their tablature that they sell for money, their bassist showed this particular song, so it's nothing that isn't already on the internet for free. I'm just going to play through the bridge, through the outro again, and we're just going to do a full playthrough with the band on Spotify, and then call it a day. That'll be it. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, bridge 2. Go. Couldn't go get rid of all these banners. And we'll go ahead and do this. Great. There were a couple little things here that I should take care of. Playthrough. Yeah. I guess this has really ultimately been a insight into my life and what I do in my free time. I don't do this for money. I don't do this to rehearse or like build up my chops for a band or anything. Definitely not my band. But yeah, I don't know. I just do this in my free time as a hobby. I like to build up my chops just for fun and to learn, you know, new stuff about the instruments. Yeah. Thanks for watching if you did. I don't know if anybody stuck around this far, but we're going to go and do a playthrough with the real band. If they claim the video, I apologize. I'll talk about that if it happens. Yeah, if you're seeing this, you're fine. Or I'm fine, I guess. If you're not seeing this, I probably talked about it somewhere else, and I'm kind of talking to the void right now. So, we go ahead and take a bathroom break, and then I will go ahead and play through it. Let's go ahead and get this done. Again, it's a 10-minute song, so we're gonna be here for a while. Got all the sheet music right here if you want to read it. Let me know if you like this kind of content. If you do, I might start doing it more on my other channel where I actually post music. You can find from my channel in the description. There's a bunch of links in there. You can follow those to get to the other channel. I might start uploading this kind of stuff on the other channel. People like it. It's kind of tricky to do that though, because again, most of this stuff that I have, the bands will sell it, so it's not really in good faith for me to share it for free. But I might figure something out. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
It's like becoming
reveal the whole album, just go listen to it. It's on Spotify or YouTube, wherever. I don't know. Just go listen to it. Yeah, there's Everyday Ghosts. Um, I don't really know what it's about, to be honest with you. I guess you can say it's about like your struggles on a day-to-day basis, like those little things that just get on your nerves. You know what I mean? Anyways, there's that. I guess feel free to steal my score if you want to take a screenshot of it and do it yourself on Guitar Pro. There's all my fingerings and rhythms and nuances, that stuff. So go ahead and steal that if you want, I suppose. If you want to take a look at the original score from Cody, name's Cody McCorry, I can link that in the description. So go ahead and pay attention for that. Otherwise, thank you for watching. If you watched this far, um, normal content should resume next week, aka tomorrow, if you're watching this on YouTube. Well, I don't know where else you would be watching it. So I'm not streaming it. So yeah, normal content should resume tomorrow. And if you want to catch me on Twitch, all that should be in my channel description. Streaming video games normally. This week was just a one-off week, so going back to normal schedule ASAP. Thanks for watching. See you next time.